Hey everybody, Mature Simmer here. So,
wind 145 at 5. Visibility 10.
been listening to ATIS here, over here at Fort Worth Alliance Airport as we're getting ready to take off here. So, just gonna get pitot on. Should be all set. We just got our parking brake warning. Just getting everything loaded. Gonna go ahead and change to 16 right in my navigaph. So my flight plan got a little messed up there, but we'll get there. And then our arrival is going to be on 04. Should be all set. So let's see. Just make sure. Alright, got that. Should probably be alright since everything populated. So, not a whole lot of points. Well, at least it looked like. I don't know, okay, it populated there, but it did not. Alright, so we're here in the Cessna, as you can tell. Smaller airport that we're going to be landing at, so only a 6,000 foot runway. So no way that we can really do that in a 737. So definitely not going to be playing that game. So we'll get these going and we'll get the engines started. So let's go ahead and call for clearance. Alliance clearance. Walker 4021, request IFR clearance to Talladega.
Walker 4021, Alliance clearance, cleared to Talladega Mun Airport, Cusco 1 departure, with a fork transition, then as filed. Maintain 5000. Departure frequency 118.1. Squawk 5215.
Cleared to Talladega Municipal Airport, Cusco 1 departure with the fork transition, then is filed. Maintain 5000, departure frequency 118.1, squawk 5215. Walker 4021.
Walker 4021, read back correct. Contact ground 132.65 when ready for start or taxi.
Alright, so we'll get our squawk code in there. We're set there. Contact ground 132.65 when ready for start or taxi. Walker 4021. Alright, we should be all set, ready to go. Alliance ground, requests taxi to runway.
Aircraft calling for taxi instruction. Say call sign.
Whoops. Walker 4021.
Walker 4021, runway 16 right taxi via Alpha. Hold short runway 16
Get ourselves
left.
to 5,000. I filed a plan at 25. Runway 16 right, taxi via Alpha. Hold short runway 16 left, Walker 4021. Alright, so we should be all set. Got our flaps going. Again, we've, I think, gotten, everything safe there. Everything is set. So, let's figure out which way we gotta go. We're gonna have to turn around. And then, we'll be heading out, so. Let me go ahead and get that moving. Yeah, we know people are there, but... Alright, I got a Cessna 172 over there. Alright. So, we're going to get these. I think this is one of those I think I've got this way too far up. Oh yeah. So let me slow that down. Whoop, we're going to go over here. And that is where we're going to get out, and then we're going to turn to the right and head over to the runway. So this is Alpha, and then we just go from there. So fire us up. We got a bit of a large plane over there, similar to when we popped in here.
Walker 4021, cross runway 16 left at Alpha. Continue taxi via Alpha.
Cross runway 16 left at Alpha. Continue taxi via Alpha. Walker 4021. Alright, so as you figured out from calling for the IFR clearance, we are on our way today to Talladega Municipal, Talladega Super Speedway. This is Walker Air Transport's NASCAR 2022 tour. It's the last one we've had available to us. So we're going to go ahead, and this is flying, and the race took place on Sunday, October 2nd. So basically saying we're flying here on October 1st, the Saturday before, because we always like to get our VIPs there a day early so they can settle in, get themselves around town and things like that. We will be overflying Dallas-Fort Worth, DFW, on the way to our first waypoint, Salve, which you can see is about 38 nautical miles away. But obviously we need to get ourselves to the proper runway, so not sure exactly how far away that is, but we'll zoom on out. Alright, I can see where we're at. So it looks like we're going to basically taxi across 16 left, which is going to be the next turn to the left here. We've got Amazon planes again. We had those, I think, last time when we landed. Been a while since I've flown this plane, so hopefully I don't make any stupid mistakes, but I guess that's half the fun of those who enjoy my series, because I'm not always the best pilot. So I am, you can see the number. I've kind of kept that November 19 or 12 Mike Alpha was kind of the tail number that I had given myself. And usually I'm not really mentioning it or whatever, but as part of my learning, I am going through the Wings Over New England program out of the Boston RTAC in VATSIM. And so I actually jumped on and did the second flight of like 30 that you do to kind of get through everything. And they let me know you normally don't have 4 numbers in the call sign in North America. So not being an aviator, I didn't know that. But now I do. So I'm going to modify that if I recall. So you're going to see that, and it's just probably going to be 191 Mike Alpha, just so that I can comply with things. But there we go. But yeah, so there's no taxi route here. We just taxi on the runway and then turn around. So I don't know that we honestly need to, but we'll go ahead and do that, because we should not require as long of a run-up as any other, like a full plane would or anything, so but I think we'll go ahead. Question is is it going to hand me off? Because right now it's just giving me wind check or radio check. I'm still on ground. It hasn't told me to contact tower. But basically the taxi map in Beyond ATC is taking me here to the end of the runway. And then that's it. So I would think I'm close enough. Alliance ground, request departure, Walker 4021. Let's see what it'll do.
Walker 4021, contact Alliance Tower Tree 515.
Alright. Contact Alliance Tower 3515, Walker 4021. Alliance Tower, request departure, Walker 4021.
Walker 4021, backtrack runway 16 right. Call when ready for departure.
Backtrack runway 16 right, call when ready for departure, Walker 4021. That's kind of what I'm doing. Request departure, Walker 4021.
Walker 4021, Alliance Tower, wind 145 at 5, fly heading 100, runway 16 right, cleared for takeoff.
Runway 16 right, cleared for takeoff. Have a good day, Walker 4021.
No. Walker 4021, cleared for takeoff runway 16 right.
Cleared for takeoff, 16 right, Walker 4021. Have a good day. See if we can get it to say something to us. It won't. Alright. So, flap set. Everything's set. Let's turn on the landing lights. We don't need the logo. Nav strobe. Should be good. Should have had those on earlier. Shame on me. Double check that I've got my tracking running. I do. 566 nautical miles is what we've got on the plan here in the flight tracker. And I'm going to go ahead and zoom myself out a bit here so that hopefully we click back and forth less and less. But let's get ourselves off the ground here. And we should have a relatively uneventful flight. Again, probably won't show everything because this is going to be probably coming up on a couple hours. Hour and a half, I think, is what were reported. But again, you know how that all goes. Alright, should be able to rotate here. There we go. So we are cleared. Wheels up. And turn on autopilot. We should be good. Get flaps
Walker
up.
4021, contact regional departure.
Contact regional departure, Walker 4021. Regional departure, Walker 4021. Trying to slow down, because I'm crazy.
Walker 4021, regional departure, radar contact, clear direct south, resume the Kafw-Kasn 1. Climb maintain 1 to 12,000.
Clear direct salve, resume Kafw-Kasn 1, climb maintain 12,000. So, gonna get that up there. And again, because it doesn't program things in the computer, we don't really have VNav that works well. So now I can move the throttle up and we can start to goose this a little bit. And probably, there we go, climb a lot more aggressively than we are. And then that should hopefully slow us down. Wow. Alright, maybe we'll back off the throttle a bit here, because this just is overpowering it even at 4,800, which is a bit nuts. Alright, so we are not going direct, so I need to fix that. We're going to go direct, salve, execute. Hopefully that will... Alright, so now we're going to bring this down some. Try to stabilize it. Alright. Are we getting... There we go. That might be the problem. Goodness gracious. Alright, like it is not... There we finally go. I'm like, it is not clicking in here. Alright. So, because yeah, we're probably going to be way up. We should have DFW. We've gone so far south now that we're not going to overfly it, but we might be able to see it out the window once we turn enough. Maybe not. We might be a good ways away, because I'm sure we've traveled 10-15 miles in this little bit of autopilot
Walker 4021.
fun.
Contact Fort Worth Center 134.15.
134.15, Walker 4021. Fort Worth Center, Walker 4021. 10,000. Probably going to ask me for altitude
Walker
again, of course.
4021. Say altitude.
10,000.
Walker 4021. Say altitude.
10,000, Walker 4021.
Walker 4021. Fort Worth Center. Climb and maintain flight level 250.
Climb and maintain flight level 250, Walker 4021. Alright. So we are now headed in the correct direction. Yeah, if it's out there, I couldn't tell you where it is. So, sorry about that, folks. But, in any event, you know, we're heading east out of Dallas-Fort Worth. So we will be heading over there, and everything should be wonderful. So at this point, this is what, the 5th race in the playoffs, or in the off season, out of 10. So not a bad, you know, we're halfway done. I don't know what I was specifically going to say with that. We can turn off the landing lights now. We're above 10,000. So, should be good. Can't see over the nose because we're climbing it. Oh, I better. So this is why they tell you to do flight level change. We are bleeding off speed. And I'm not doing well. We're climbing nicely, but yeah, well, I want to climb faster than that. So, let's see. What if I do flight level change and up the speed? Let's get the speed to, I don't know. Let's see. Let's say 230. So let's see what that will do. So I assume it's going to get us up to 230, and then it's going to try to do stuff. So someone had made that comment to me and said, you know what, you're going to do, like, the right way to do it is to do flight level change so that you don't risk a stall, which honestly, that's exactly where we were headed. We were really close. I mean, my God, we were down to 130. And you can see flaps 3.5, which is full flaps, is at 160. So it was like the plane was getting ready to land. Except we were up at 15,000 feet, so not really when you want to land. But, yeah, we'll let it get up there, and we should be good with that. So our distance, Navigraph-wise, just about 550 nautical miles. So not a whole lot happening with that. At this point, I'm going to do my normal auto respond on Beyond ATC. And, alright, so I'm just kind of curious because I've never, I mean, I know the concept of flight level change is that it's basically supposed to use whatever you've got on the throttle, and then it's going to, so that's the thing, like now I should be able, in theory, to jack up the throttle, and it will just go crazy on the climb rate until it gets me back to 230, and then it will do some other stuff. So, yeah, we're flying up a little bit. So 4,300, because yeah, now we're below the speed, so now it's going to kind of play around, and it'll likely keep lowering my rate a bit.
Walker 4021, contact Fort Worth Center 132.85.
But you know, it's 227 and it's climbing.
2.85. Walker 4021.
All right, so we are at standard now.
Center, Walker 4021. Leaving flight level 186 for flight level 250 direct south.
Walker 4021, Fort Worth Center, roger.
So, it is far easier, I will say that. So definitely not a bad suggestion. So if you're the one that suggested it and we're watching, I think that might have been on my VFR series that I was flying. So, actually it might have been NeoFly. Either way, both of them I don't get up nearly high enough, but I do set, you know, vertical speed or whatever and so forth. So with the TBM 850, I definitely will have to take a peek at how and such I would do flight level change on that. A little bit of a bump there. A little bit of turbulence. So I think after this race, we've got our short leg, because I think I told you there was one shorter leg. I don't think it's super short, but it's I think below 500. Everything else I think is above 500. So once it levels out, then we'll just have to watch. So there you go. Just dropping the nose. And then it's not flight level change anymore, so now, because I've got the engines just blaring, it is going to take off like a rocket, which is not quite, like I have played with the Lear, I think it was a Learjet a little bit. That thing is a rocket ship, and that I did not realize, because I think I was reading or watching some video. I guess it's basically based on a fighter jet design. It like basically got the rights to use like some fighter jet stuff, and so yeah, it can do some crazy stuff. But yeah, we're heading to Charlotte after Talladega, so that's North Carolina. So we're going from Alabama to North Carolina. So I think it's still 200-300 miles. It's not like it's nothing, but it's not in that over 500 mile range like all the other flights are. And then I think we've got a couple really long ones kind of jumping back and forth because, yeah, you know, to finish out the year, just so you know what we've got planned for us in 2022. I say November, but that's when it ends. But in 2022, Talladega, Charlotte, cross over to Vegas, come all the way back to Homestead, Miami. Sorry about that. A little bit of a cough there, so I wanted to mute and not do that in your ears. And then back to Martinsville, which is, I think, in Virginia, but we're going from South Florida. So again, if you know anything about geography in the U.S., like Florida itself is like 400 miles north-south, so it's still a long flight, even though we're staying on the East Coast, and then we do that last leg all the way to the final race in Phoenix for November 6th. So, like I said, we'll be running right up to, you know, this year in 2024, right up to the presidential election time frame. I'm not sure if it will be that weekend before. I assume so, because we seem to be staying ahead of things, because basically, even though it was October 2nd in 2022, which would make the Saturday the 1st, the Saturday is going to be still in September when this video actually gets posted. Because again, we're trying to kind of proceed in real time along with, you know, how things would have gone. And that's kind of how this series is designed to publish and so forth. All right, so we are at cruise. I think we've... Oh, wait a minute. I was way up there in speed, and now suddenly it's like fallen off. I don't understand. Huh. The turn slough that much off? Because, yeah, if I can go a little quicker, obviously that's better. So let me just take a look. It's telling me an hour and 12 minutes. So I am going to head off for a bit. Keep playing with my throttle and trying to adjust things accordingly. And when we are getting closer, I will be back. I'll probably have already started the descent and so forth, because very little to share as far as background immersion stuff. I mean, yeah, we're going to have Beyond ATCs just doing the calls, but we still don't have traffic. So I will be curious. I mean, they do have traffic in Alpha. I do wonder if we're going to get traffic before MS 2024 comes out. Because that would be nice, just to know and see how things work and kind of get used to that. Because I'm still going to need to make a decision of, do I stick with Beyond ATC, or am I going to make the plunge once I determine I still need something, which I don't see anything in the 2024 stuff that makes me think that air traffic has been incredibly improved and that they're doing anything like Beyond ATC or say Intentions are doing. So yeah, I need to make a choice of, do I make the leap and go to SI, or do I stick with Beyond ATC, which was my plan, because I'm not doing anything crazy about it, but I am starting to see a little bit of the potential limitations, although Beyond ATC is trying to do a few things to add some variety and so forth. So we'll just have to see how things pan out. So,
Walker 4021.
making another call,
Center
but I will see you in a bit. Alright, just started to descend. So you can see we're passing through 24,000 feet. We've been given clearance for runway 4, which is what we were expecting. We're heading to Lymph in about 5 miles here. Right now we're going down pretty quickly, about 2,000. In theory we were cleared to 21,000, but I'm thinking that's Lymph or something, so I'm going to keep going because I just don't want a problem. And again, maybe it'll call and give us the drop, you know, once we get there, because we're, you know, 2 miles away. And so it might be, like, yeah, I don't see any specific height that we need to be there, but there we go, we're getting a call.
Walker 4021. Contact Atlanta Center 134.05.
And we've already been transferred to Atlanta Center.
Contact Atlanta Center 134.05. Walker 4021. Atlanta Center, Walker 4021. Flight level 212.
Walker 4021, Atlanta Center, roger. Walker 4021, descend maintain 4000, altimeter 2986.
We've already got the 2986 because
Descend
we saw
maintain
that.
4000, altimeter 2986. Walker
All right.
4021.
So there we go. So kind of as I thought, they would give us clearance. So you can see we got about 50 miles to Gakpo. We'll call it Gakpo. It's Golf Alpha Charlie Bravo uniform. Alright, so we're at about 220, which is good. I could probably speed up a little bit just to close the distance a little faster. But yeah, we had some weird bumps here and there. I get that once in a while with planes. I don't know if that's a bug in Microsoft Flight Simulator, because I mean sometimes it happens with the airliners too, where literally like the whole cabin is shaking. I have not paused. I have not done anything like that. I've just been here, letting the plane fly, doing its, you know, just monitoring and making sure things don't go crazy. All right, so now we'll flip. That changed a tiny bit, but not a whole lot. Because again, standard is 29902, so 29986 is not that different. All right. So yeah, I've not used the auto IFR on Navigraph charts, but normally I'm looking at like world or satellite or whatever, just so it's just not a bunch of waypoints and so forth. But yeah, it just flipped on me to IFR low. So obviously a lot more detail in that case, rather than just the high level points and the high level airways and things like that. Alright, good news. Everything appears as it should be, I would think. We're below 250. I'm assuming it's showing, yeah, descending with 74 nautical miles to go. So we're all set there. And obviously that was a little while ago. Alright, so we're down about 10,000 feet. So not quite halfway of what we've done. And again, we started just before Lymph and then had about 50 miles. So if we can go down another 2,500 or something, by the time we get to 25 miles to go, I'd feel better. Because that way I feel like I'm halfway down, all the way down.
Walker 4021, altimeter 2986, expect the visual approach runway 4.
Altimeter 2986, expect the visual approach runway 4. Walker 4021.
You know, and we are just coming into the final ILS. So, I mean, I do have that as well. But yeah, so we want 12,500. It'd be great if we got there with like 30 miles to go or something. Because yeah, I think at Kafw we're supposed to be above 2,700, but so 4,000's a little high, but so yeah, you can, the height above ground level, as I'm looking at the landing monitor, like it suddenly like jumped up like 200 feet, but I'm sure, you know, where it went up, so I'm sure there was a valley or something where it was suddenly 2,200 when it was 13,000. So it's obviously not always consistent, because obviously the ground isn't entirely flat underneath us. So I think I've talked about, you know, I've been watching some 2024 stuff. There were some creators that got the opportunity to see things at the Grand Canyon and go to an event that Microsoft was hosting, and looks pretty good. I'm pretty excited about it. I might even dabble, I might do more than dabble in the career mode or something like that too, because that looks like it kind of gives you a little bit more of a goal a little bit, as opposed to just the VAs or whatever, but we'll see. Because again, like if things like NeoFly or whatever keep working, you know, there's nothing wrong with that, but it looks like a lot of that is coming into the sim, because you can do all these different jobs like search and rescue and whatever, and I'm guessing they probably had a pretty good implementation of that. Alright, let's get our landing light on. We're below 250. I am going to slow myself down a bit, because again we are, well, I don't want to slow down too much, but we are accelerating, which I don't necessarily want to be doing at this point now that we're down here. So we'll be heading through some clouds. We're finally at 20, but again we're well below the 12,500 that I was hoping at 25, so just got 80, about 9,000 feet above ground level, so it's like 500 feet is where we're going to be at here. And we're coming in, and then we are going to take a turn, pretty heavy turn to the left. You can kind of see, I think that is starting to line us up. So I'm going to get the approach turned on. And so we'll get our localizer and our glide slope, and hopefully then, once we make that turn, it will lock on, and that will make things a good bit easier. Now, I have never flown the Cessna with my flight stick, so this could be scary, but the good thing with Walker is, you know, as long as we're below, I think 800 feet per minute, it still takes it, so I should hopefully be in good shape. Let's see, we'll get the range down a bit. Well, I don't want to go down that far. I guess that's where I was, so the one below that is there. So that gets us 10 miles out, so we got some pretty tight visibility. You can see here we're above the glide slope, and that's kind of always the challenge, because obviously that's not what we want to be doing. But we got 12, we've got, what, 21 miles to the airport, but 12 miles before we get to the next waypoint, and then again that's where we turn and enter the final flight path, or final approach. Alright, get out of the clouds. I wasn't really expecting weather here. I mean, clearly I was able to see to the ground just a moment ago, so I'm thinking this is just a low-hanging cloud. I'm hoping. There we go. We're starting to see a little bit here, but it looks like we're going to re-enter a few more. We're definitely going down. I don't know, it says we're still going down at 3 degrees, but for some reason maybe it's kind of the watched pot never boils thing. So maybe because I'm just paying a lot more attention here. Alright, so let me...
Walker 4021, turn left, heading 060.
Alright, well, not yet.
Turn left, heading 060, Walker 4021.
That is where we'll be going, but, so yeah, we're a ways out still. I mean, we're 7 miles just continuing on this heading, and then, you know, I'm assuming we've got, well, we probably want to have 10 miles. Alright, well, we're getting close on the altitude. I was hoping the glide slope really would have locked in. I'm going to lower myself down to 3,000.
Walker 4021, airport is at your 11 o'clock 15 miles. Report the field in sight.
Well, again, we're going to go with it because we're on
Field in sight, Walker
GPS,
4021.
so we know we'll get there.
Walker 4021, cleared visual approach runway 4.
Cleared visual approach 4, Walker 4021.
Walker 4021, contact Atlanta Center 134.905.
Contact Atlanta Center 134.905, Walker
Alright,
4021.
We're going to put the first set of flaps out, and I'm going to get
Atlanta
my
Center,
gear
Walker
down.
4021, good day,
So
3,700.
that'll start to slow us a good amount
Walker
here.
4021, Atlanta Center, roger.
Alright. Be turning in 1 mile. Now we're below the glide slope, so in
Walker
theory we
4021,
should lock
no tower
on.
services available at Talladega Munn Airport. Frequency change approved. See you.
Oh, okay.
Frequency change approved, Walker 4021, see you.
Alright, let me get up here a bit. And again, hopefully we'll, okay, we got the localizer. Now we just need the glide slope. Alright, we are 8 miles out, so this should be happening soon here. Gonna go full flaps. Where is this airport? Alright, we are on the glide slope now. I mean, I'm guessing it's that, but man, that does not look good. Alright, we do have full flaps. You know, green dot speed is kind of where we want to be at, so I can probably pull back a little bit here. Just kind of watching my little pink flare there to show where we're going to go down to. You can see we're at 1,700. We're now about 6 miles out. I don't think... Oh, well, it's because it's an untowered airport. I don't know that we get a lot of detail. Because it's showing me 0 knots on the runway, but I'm not sure that's accurate. I mean, again, this is a Navigraph, so... but because it's an untowered airport, they just might not have information. Just make sure. Alright, wheels are out, flaps are down. Everything looks solid. The question is, again, when do we drop off our autopilot and bring things in? I think I'm going to go to 500 feet above ground level. So, got a little ways to go here. Alright, I sped up again. I don't want to do that. I want to definitely come in as slow as I can, because I don't have a super long Yeah, I don't have a super long runway here, so I want to be set as much as I can. Alright. So 2.5 miles out. I mean, now it's more clearly, and again, you've got Talladega right there. We've flown in here and out of here before, so I mean, we know the airport.
500. Autopilot.
Alright. So we're going to continue. We're going to continue down. Just hopefully bring it in. Looks like we're a little low because all the pappies are red. So we probably want to pull up a bit here. We're moving over more than we'd like. And we're going to turn the engines off. And we are now going to glide and flare. Come on. Touchdown. Oh, we got to bounce. That's bad. Alright. So, not great, but you know, it's passable. So, a few planes here at the runway, or at the airport, but again, no tower, no nothing, so we know we're not gonna hear anything from anybody. So we'll just head on over here. But welcome to Talladega. It says 187, but that's probably after the bounce. So we'll take a look at the Walker thing once I get here and park. Alright. Alright, so we'll get the parking brake, get our flaps up. Should be all set. Oh, we haven't turned things off. Oh, touchdown at 55 feet per minute. Well, that's quite nice if it's really going to credit me with that. But I'm not sure that it will. But we'll get these shut off, and then it will file things. Alright, so they're spooling down. There we go. Yep, negative 55. So, and that's what I was hoping that the flight stick is going to allow me to achieve over time. I've got to get way better with the airliners, but, you know, again, if I can come in with something like this, I'm at 120 or something. It's not super fast. I mean, again, an airliner's not coming in much faster. It's like 140, 137. So in theory, I should be able to do the same thing, but it's just one of those that just doesn't quite work as smoothly. But we have made it. Looks like we're the only jet here. Everybody else is props, so FSLTL is not doing anything too exciting. It's one thing I would definitely be intrigued about, because I'm hoping that there's more variety with Beyond ATC and its injection, but we'll see what we get when we finally have access in the regular situation. But because if I really was sure I wasn't going to do say intentions, maybe I'd go up to the supporters thing and be able to get access and play around, but I just don't know. I mean, I'm getting a lot of suggestion from folks who certainly know a lot more than I do that Beyond ATC just isn't in the same category. So, but we've got this one in the books. I did take a peek as I was flying. I think it's 286 nautical miles. So it's probably literally about half this flight for our next one. But then what we have, the last 4 flights that we have in this tour, I think 3 of them are over 1,500 miles out of the 4. So, so we're going to have some long flights wrapping this thing up through the month of October and possibly into that first weekend in November. But that is where we're headed here. But I'm pretty excited. I mean, we're honestly, when I started this out, it was, I don't know that I'd say it was totally aspirational that, hey, I'm going to do this, but I thought for sure like something would happen and I'd screw up some weekend, but I've kept up with it and gotten you guys, as I promised, just kind of keeping this as a series of, hey, it's 2024. We're not running to the racetracks that we have in 2024. But what I'm hoping is, I'm going to try to see what the process is to submit tours into Walker Air, and I will try to get a 2025 series in for next year, and then we can basically do that and just go to the actual tracks on the actual schedule as opposed to working 2 years behind. So that's kind of what I have in my head. Obviously NASCAR's got to come out with the schedule and all that, but we'll see. So with all that, I'm going to wrap this up. I hope you've enjoyed it. If you have but haven't dropped a like yet, or you are not a subscriber, please consider both those things. They're greatly appreciated. Love to have you join up here in the community as we continue to grow, getting up to almost 1,500 subscribers, so pretty exciting. Nice to see growth continuing, and a few more people have appeared in the Discord. It's actually been a little bit busier as far as people joining in the last couple weeks. We've gone from like 100 to I think 110 pretty quickly, where we've maybe been trickling in 1 or 2 a week before that. So I think there were 4 people that joined in the last couple days or something, but again, nobody's chatting. But I get it, there's only 100 people there, and there's probably less to chatter about at a smaller channel like this. But in any event, you got to start somewhere, right? So I will wrap this up, and I will see you guys next time.